Hello my friends, welcome back finally to a new Ratchet and Clank talking head. Oh, we got a lot. We got so much to talk about. This is gonna be a long one, so buckle up, buckaroo. Sorry this is taking so long, you know, life, but it's kind of a good thing I waited so long because we got even more information with the PlayStation 5 showcase. So I'm gonna divide this video into roughly 4 segments. So we're mostly gonna be talking about that new 7.5 minute roughly gameplay demo, uncut, extended from the same thing that we had seen originally. It's just longer now and uncut, and it just shows a little bit more, but it's much more revealing. After that, we got an interview with some of Insomniac folk, and they revealed a lot of things. After that, there was a lot of stuff that got announced on Twitter and through other blog posts and interviews and things. And then most recently, we got a lot of PS5 news, which is pretty revealing on things that we can pinpoint about Rift Apart. So those are the 4 things we're gonna be going over today: the gameplay, the interview, the articles, and the PS5 news. So again, buckaroos, buckle up. So first of all, diving into the gameplay. Nefarious was shown in the gameplay. That's pretty neat. So we see this new Nefarious. He looks very new and shiny and colorful, and he's very impressive looking. And his eyes, I cannot get over his eyes. I won't talk too much about my opinion on these things. I was thinking about saving that for a separate video, maybe if I ever get to it. Just kind of giving my general opinion on what I think so far about Rift Apart. Maybe I'll do that. Let me know if you're interested in seeing that. I got a lot of questions about what I think, so I thought maybe I'll just do a whole video about it. But let me know in the comments what you think about that. But anyways, this new Nefarious looks very impressive. You'll notice one thing about him: he does not have a cracked eye. That happened in A Crack in Time. I strongly believe that this Nefarious that we are seeing in this gameplay demo is in fact an alternative Nefarious. Now, I did a separate video on this before, but now it's practically certain. There was one thing in particular that was very revealing about that, but I'll get to that, I'll come back to that in a minute. So first of all, what was Nefarious doing? Well, he had the Dimensionator. It made an appearance. You'll notice now it is a gun instead of a hat. So I wonder if that is just how the Lombaxes made it in a different dimension. They turned it into a gun instead, or maybe this is Nefarious. Maybe he altered his own or made his own. It's still really unknown. Your guess is as good as mine. But one thing you'll notice about it is that stone in the middle of the thing that Ratchet shoots and blows up like an idiot and causes the whole game to happen. First, he just asks politely for him to stop, and he doesn't. So then he just shoots it and causes chaos. But yes, that stone in the middle. My chat actually pointed this out to me. My Twitch chat, link in the description. Follow me on Twitch. I stream every Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday. That stone, I forget. I couldn't even be bothered to look it up again. I don't remember, but it's from the comics. It's what powers the Dimensionator. It's supposedly in Tools of Destruction, although I don't think it's mentioned. But it is just the source of the Dimensionator. It's just what powers it, essentially. I don't really think there's anything more revealing about that. It's just kind of a fun fact trivia thing. If there is, I'll put it up on screen in text form or picture or something. But yes, we were right. The Dimensionator is the cause of all this, and it is supposedly an alternative dimension Nefarious. Speaking of alternative dimensions, so this time in this trailer, we have subtitles, and those subtitles have been very revealing. For example, he did not say Agorians. He said more than he's telling us, not more than the Agorians. All right, Astalos. You were right. But one thing we can note from the subtitles is that the citizens are Megalopolis citizens, not Megapolis from Going Commando, Planet on Daco, but this is Megalopolis. Also to be noted, those are not the Thugs for Less hired in Going Commando, also making an appearance in Into the Nexus. These are in fact actually the Goons for Less, which I think is funny. It's just goon. I can't take it seriously. It's just a word I can't take seriously. So this is quite confusing, actually. First of all, about the goons. I think either this could be one of 2 things. Nefarious, since they do refer to Nefarious as the boss, they are clearly hired by Nefarious. The question is, did they come from Nefarious's dimension along with him? And these are what the thugs are for. And by the way, Nefarious is definitely from that dimension at the end of the trailer that Clank is stuck in with the female Lombax. So Nefarious is from that dimension that we're seeing now. Did he hire the Goons for Less? Is that just what they're called in that dimension and brought them over? Or are we in an alternative Bogon Galaxy Megalopolis, currently now Megalopolis, and they're the alternative Thugs for Less in this dimension where he came to and then hired them when he got there. See, the only reason I don't think that this is an alternative dimension is because the citizens they recognize Ratchet and Clank. Oh look, it's Ratchet and Clank. How would they know who he is if this isn't his dimension? Unless, they did say that this trailer, I'll come back to this, but they did say that this demo was early in the game, so maybe they came here and already made a name for themselves, like, immediately, and they're just immediately recognizable. If you'll remember, there was, like, parade floats that you could see in like a couple frames of the original trailer, which are now taken out of this new trailer, supposedly. So they're being celebrated here for something. So unless something like just happened, like in the beginning of the game or like in the first cutscene or something, where they would be known, I don't know why. It's very confusing. Unless there's just coincidentally another city called Megalopolis and not Megapolis, or they just kind of retconned it, and it's just Megalopolis, or maybe it was a typo. I don't know. I would just say it is unknown if what we are seeing in this demo is Ratchet's dimension that we are familiar with. Moving on, potentially the most revealing thing is something that I originally missed. I think somebody on Twitter pointed this out to me. Follow me on Twitter, link in the description. If you see anything, DM it to me or tag me. I see it, and I appreciate it. But in that scene where Ratchet is riding that dragon through that city that Nefarious has taken over, there is for a second a subtitle for like a couple frames, maybe one frame. There's a subtitle of a nefarious citizen. And the citizen says, "His greatness is breaking into other dimensions. He did it." First of all, I want to note, spoiler alert for A Crack in Time, real quick, skip ahead a couple seconds if you want to. This sounds a lot like the Fongoids in the Tombly Outpost when you travel back in time and you find where Nefarious crash land on his asteroid after Ouya, and they took him in and they all just love Nefarious and they'll give him his last stick of gum and everything. It sounds a lot like that, but spoilers over. So this implies he is from this other dimension and has been working on conquering other dimensions from this dimension. They're aware of that. So I think that's a pretty straight shot there to make that conclusion. Just based off of that alone, plus everything that I had said in that original video talking about alternative Nefarious. And then lastly, just two little bonus things that I noticed. They show the level up screen for the weapons when you level up a weapon and your health. It's cool. I really like it. It's one of my favorite UI things I've seen so far. It's nice and quick and snappy, opposed to A Crack in Time when it takes like 30 seconds for it to show the level up screen after you level up the weapon. Also, I want to note that these weapons are upgrading ridiculously fast, unless they're playing on like super easy baby mode. I assume they just made it really high experience gain, or nanomite, not experience. He's getting nanomites. That's the lore. He's getting a lot of nanomites very quickly just to show that level up screen for the demo, I'm hoping, because that would be ridiculous. But also, if you noticed, there's a shoulder swap, which is, I think, the first time ever in a Ratchet and Clank game where you can swap shoulders, which is pretty cool. Good job. Accessibility. That's an accessibility thing, right? I don't know. Moving on to the second thing here, the interview following this gameplay demo. So Geoff Knightley asked Insomniac a couple of questions. They revealed a couple of things, some things we already knew, like they talked about the DualSense with the weapons, which I'm gonna go in backwards order here from like least exciting to most exciting thing. So the DualSense, we've kind of heard about some of this stuff, like for example, the Enforcer, the shotgun weapon, you pull the trigger halfway down, it kind of stops, it shoots one barrel, pull it the rest of the way down, it shoots the other barrel. Pretty sick. I think this is the first time they mentioned the burst pistol, how you can just kind of feel each bullet leave the controller, which is, obviously. Nothing too special there, but I think this is new. The Shatter Bomb, the new bomb glove, you can feel the energy in the DualSense leave the controller as you throw it. You can feel the energy leaving, like that's... Honestly, I'm honestly so excited for the DualSense. I'm very excited. They said that they feel like the DualSense was made for Ratchet and Clank. I believe them. As I've said before and time again, as they mentioned in their GDC talk from a couple of years ago, they always try to push the limits and utilize everything they can about new technology, new hardware since PS2, PS1, PS3, PS4, PS5 now. You know they're going all in with this DualSense, and I'm so excited. It's one of those things. It's like VR. It's like you have to experience it for yourself. I wish when I finally play the game for y'all, Twitch, YouTube, well, I don't know how I'm gonna do it yet, but I can't share that with y'all. I wish I could. I know it's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be really good. And we've only seen 4 weapons. I don't know how the topiary sprinkler will feel anything. Probably won't, just when you throw it, maybe. Sorry, I talk a lot. Okay, anyways, moving on. They did confirm that this is, in fact, again, as I've been saying, a standalone game. I just want to note a couple of things. It's standalone. That does not mean it's the last game. It can be played on its own. And they also did finally confirmation. We've already kind of really known this, but this is post-Nexus. This does proceed into the Nexus. This is back to the original timeline. Confirmed. I mean, I knew that, and then they revealed a bunch of stuff. I was like, okay, this is extremely obvious now, and now we have a confirmation now, so yay. But it's like, you know, like Tools of Destruction is a sequel to Deadlocked, but you didn't have to play Deadlocked to play, you know, but it's like kind of, it's a little different now though, because with the Dimensionator, it's directly pulling lore from that future trilogy, plus Nexus. So point is, you can play this game on its own, but it does, yes, go back to the original timeline. But that doesn't mean, when they say standalone, that doesn't mean last game. A lot of people jump to that conclusion for some reason. Geoff Knightley also asked about the female Lombax, and they were very reluctant to say anything. They said they wouldn't even give the first letter of her first name because they thought that they knew there's a lot of smart people on the internet that are gonna figure it out. So in saying that, I've already, I'm thinking like, how are we gonna figure it out unless it's something that we already know, you know? I mean, that doesn't mean that's how it is. It just, you know, maybe somebody, it's just like, it begins with the letter P. It's like, oh, it's Penelope. Like, wow, you got it. How did you know? I'm just smart. No, I just guessed. I don't know. Like, so I don't know. Alternative Angela? Alternative Ratchet? More on that in a second, actually. What about alternative Sasha? Turn her into a Lombax. She gets underappreciated, I feel like. I like Sasha. But lastly, the biggest news, probably the most exciting news in general for most people here, the release window for Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. They did confirm they are aiming for a launch window title, which means generally, that's a pretty loose term, but generally that means about 6 months after the console's launch, which we'll get to in a minute. So as late as like May. So I guess they're just waiting for my birthday, my golden birthday when I turn 23. So on the 23rd. Hell, let's go Insomniac. But more on that when we get to the PS5 section, because we got some new information that'll help us pinpoint something for Rift Apart. Moving on now to the third section, the Twitter internet stuff that came out afterwards. Again, going in from probably least exciting to most exciting, IMO. So first of all, I think they've already said this before, but they did say that there will be new and existing planets shown in this game, some of them being alternative dimension versions of these planets. I just want to highlight the new part, so there will be new planets. I don't think we've seen any new planets yet, but there will be some. I think we've only seen alternative dimensions of other planets so far. Maybe not alternative, it's kind of hard to tell. But yeah, some new, some all. Can't really tell if Ondako is new or all or what. It's very confusing, but we'll find out when we play the game. Moving on, there was an interview and they asked about this female Lombax, of course, and they said something interesting here. Interestingly, from talking about the story, Smith seems to suggest that the female Lombax may actually be a Ratchet from another dimension, thus creating a kind of Ratchet and Clank multiverse. Because he was saying, and with Rift Apart, we're trying to tell a story that involves seeing another version of these characters who have never really become the heroes that they could be. I'll link all these interviews and stuff in the description, by the way. So it seems like he's talking about this female Lombax, which might be an alternative Ratchet, who just seemingly lost in her dimension, didn't become the hero that she needed to be to stop Nefarious. Now, a lot of people originally were saying that this is like, oh my god, it's an alternative Ratchet. Yes, maybe, but either way, this is like, isn't Ratchet. This character has their own story. I'm sure they're gonna be a very different person just because it's an alternative. Like, Miles Morales is not Peter Parker, but they're both Spider-Man, you know? They have two completely different stories. They're just the same person in their universe, like that, you know? That's probably how it's gonna go down, assumingly. If I hate that I'm like, if I'm right, I hate that I am, because I hate that I'm like figuring this out and they're like talking about it. I hope this better be revealed like in the beginning of the game. Spoiling the game for myself. They also toyed with the idea of an alternative Clank potentially too, so. Ooh. Again, link in the description for more of these articles and interviews. And here I said earlier that they said this gameplay was from the beginning of the game. I'm guessing likely very, very early in the game, maybe like after like a cutscene, maybe there's like one other segment. So like say Tools of Destruction, for example, you know, you start off in Metropolis. It's this level that you can't go back to. So maybe like that happened, and then there was like one other part. But historically, Ratchet and Clank demos that they show off are like the first one of the first levels like that, or if not the first level. And then finally for this portion, the most, in my opinion, exciting thing that was revealed that I'm so happy about this. 60 frames per second mode confirmed for Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart on the PlayStation 5, baby. This isn't too surprising since they had already originally announced that for Spider-Man Miles Morales that will have a 60 FPS mode as well, so why shouldn't they do it for Rift Apart? It's just nice to get a confirmation now that we will have that option. I believe one of them said somewhere that they're not sure what the sacrifices are going to be yet. I'm guessing it'll be a 1440p 60 FPS option, not 4K. 1440p, I don't really, it's great. I like, ugh. Listen, I hate 4K. I think it's stupid. I mean, it's great, but like, the thing is, most people do not have a 4K monitor. Most people, like, why do so many people care about 4K? Like, most people don't even have a 4K monitor. You're not even gonna see it in 4K. Like, give us why would I sacrifice half of my frames for a fidelity that I'm not even going to get because I don't have that hardware? Like, I'm really glad they gave this option. I'm probably going to end up playing the game like that. Maybe, probably. I don't think I'm going to go out and buy a 4K monitor right now. I think that's how this stuff works. I'm not the most knowledgeable about frames and refresh rates and monitors and stuff and all that jazz. I also just want to note that this is going to be the first Ratchet and Clank game since A Crack in Time. That was the last Ratchet and Clank game to have a 60 frames per second, so that's great. Kind of disappointing that only All for One, Full Frontal Assault, Into the Nexus, and the PS4 game are the only Ratchet and Clank games at 30 FPS, because assuming that if they'll make more, it'll probably be at 60 FPS. Now, they've done it, they can keep doing it, assumingly now. Again, I will eventually hopefully make a video about future Ratchet and Clank games that I am predicting. Although the PS4 Ratchet might actually be an exception with the frames, potentially, I'm not really sure, when we move on to this fourth and final section here, the PlayStation 5 news that we finally got. So, we finally got some PlayStation 5 news. I watched the whole showcase recently. I live streamed it here on YouTube. Subscribe, ring the bell if you want to catch any more of those events that we do, any other state of plays, anything like that. I love sharing that moment with all y'all. So, subscribe, ring the bell, leave a like, all that jazz. If you want to watch that whole video, that whole stream, link in the description. I have timestamps in that video for every game, every announcement in there if you just want to jump to anything in particular. We do a lot of discussion in that video as well if you want to check out any of that. However, the big news to come out of this event is the price and release date for the PlayStation 5. Finally. $399 for the digital, $499 for the disc version, releasing on November 12th, 2020 in the US, Japan, Canada, Mexico, Australia, New Zealand, and South Korea. It is launching November 19th, exactly 1 week later, in the rest of the world. Sorry, Europe. That blows. China is the only exception. That date is still under exploration. There was a whatever, a bunch of information that came out of that event. Again, if you want to watch the live stream, jump to the discussion part. We talk about all of that stuff that came out of there. We'll read all those blog posts in it. Blog posts and everything. Lots to talk about there if you want to check that out. But they announced the launch titles for the PlayStation 5 as far as the PlayStation Studios go. That includes Astro's Playroom, Demon Souls, Destruction All-Stars, Spider-Man Miles Morales, and Sackboy: A Big Adventure. So, that confirms it. Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart is not a launch title. Eat it, rep. It is a PlayStation Studios game. If it was a launch title, it would have been on this list. Also, side note, Demon Souls is exclusive to PS5. It's not going to be on PC. That was a typo in the trailer, just spreading that information for you. But anyways, besides that, the other interesting thing to come out of these launch title lists is that they also listed the price for all these games. So Astro's Playroom is actually going to be free. It's going to be pre-installed on every PS5, just so you can, it showcases the DualSense and all of its capabilities and just kind of introduces you to the PS5. Demon Souls, $70. Destruction All-Stars, $70. Sackboy: Big Adventure, $60. Spider-Man, $50, because it's a smaller game. It's like Infamous First Light or Uncharted Lost Legacy, so $10 more still than those usual games. Those are usually $40. or $70 for the Ultimate Edition, which I'm not going to go all into right now. Again, I talk about that more in that live stream if you want to check that out again. All I'll say about the Ultimate Edition real quick is that it comes with Spider-Man PS4 remade for PS5. All I'll say about it is that they've gotten a lot of flack about that, but I think it's all kind of crap because they did a lot to the game to bring it to PS5. I think it's pretty justified in my opinion, but whatever. I'm not going to talk about it too much here. That's not what we're here for right now. So, with the exception of Sackboy, which I'm assuming just because it's clearly not the biggest, most highest budget game out of these, so that's probably why it's $10 cheaper, but it's just weird that it's only $10 cheaper. But seemingly, and I think also recently Xbox games went up for pre-order. Those are mostly all $70 as well. I haven't looked at it, but that's what I heard. $70 is the new norm. A lot of people are mad about it. I'm not really mad about it. I mean, obviously, I don't want to pay $10 extra for games. $70 is a lot, especially with tax. It's gonna be like $75. But I mean, it's been a steal at $60 for. It's overdue for this bump in price. So it's definitely justified. It makes sense. It just sucks. But what can we get out of that? Well, it seems like Ratchet and Clank, since that's going to be a full-fledged game, as they said, not like a half-experience $40 game like the PS4 game or Nexus or any of that. It's going to be, this is like a crack in time level kind of game. It's going to be full retail price, which is seemingly now $70. So if you want to play Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, you have to pay at least $470 if you get the digital PS5. I will also note real quick that I did secure my PS5 pre-order. Hell yeah, that was a nightmare. 2 hours of clicking place order. Literally, I'm not even exaggerating. Disc version secured, pre-order, Best Buy, Miles Morales, extra DualSense, the headphones. Got it on lockdown, baby. Let's go. Day one, we're on it. I'm telling you, I'm making sure of it. Subscribe, ring the bell. Day one PS5 content, I'm telling you. But wouldn't be the first time I spent $500 to play Ratchet and Clank. I bought my PS3 with $500 back in the day, just so I could play Tools of Destruction. So yeah, you're gonna have to pay a lot of money to play Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. So another thing that came out of this event though afterwards was that a lot of these games are announced to be coming, not supposedly, they are confirmed to be coming to PS4 as well, like Spider-Man, Miles Morales, and Horizon, Zero Dawn, and something else, I think Sackboy. So a lot of people were really disappointed in that. I get it, I'm not really that disappointed. It's kind of, they usually do that actually. It's not really first party games that do that though, so it's a little interesting. The most disappointing thing I think is Horizon coming to PS4. But they're very adamant that these are made for PS5 first, and you know, they're downgrading it for PS4. I don't know, that's a whole discussion. But point is Ratchet and Clank gonna be one of those games? Is that gonna come to PS4? No, I doubt it. Sorry. That game in particular is very, very clearly optimized to be played on only a PS5 with that SSD. Like you can't even play that game on a PS4. There's so much going on. There's so many loading things happening constantly. I mean, Insomniac, surprise me, prove me wrong, but even if it does come to PS4, I can say with certainty, I can be confident that this is a PS5 game first. Again, as I've said time and time again, they always want to utilize and push new hardware to its limits and use everything they possibly can. They've said that for PS2, PS3, PS4, PS5. It's going to be a PS5 game first. If it's ever coming to anything else, they're downgrading it. Unless it's PC, and then they can maybe keep it the same, but it's hard to get those same levels on a PC probably to match a PS5, especially with a game demanding as Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart with a extremely, nearly 100% optimized SSD in there. So just a little update on that. I know previously I was a little like maybe it'll come to PS4 and PC. I did a video on that a little while ago. Yeah, PC maybe. Again, I think I talked about this recently. I'm not going to talk about it again. But I just get a PS5. Lastly, the very final tidbit of information here that's a little interesting is the PlayStation Plus collection, which I don't really understand. There wasn't a lot of info put out about this, I don't think. I was trying to look for something just now. I couldn't really understand it, but it's seemingly with your normal PlayStation Plus subscription, I don't know if it's any more money. I don't think it is. It's just the regular subscription. I don't think they're upping the price at all. On PS5, only on PS5, if you have PlayStation Plus, you get access to a bunch of games for free. These are PS4 generation-defining games, and believe it or not, Ratchet and Clank is on that list, as it is generation-defying as it usually is, time and time again. But lots of games on there. I'm very excited. I haven't played most of those games actually, so I'll hopefully be able to get to some of those games. Again, I don't know if they're like a limited time thing or something. There really isn't a lot of information about it out there, I don't think, but I'll just have to wait and see. I don't know if it's gonna, so I was saying earlier, I don't know if this is gonna be bumped up to 60 FPS. I don't know if they're getting any boosts to them. So maybe the PS4 Ratchet will have a 60 FPS mode. I don't know. But either way, it's very exciting because the Ratchet and Clank Ultimate Ratchet and Clank playthrough, URCP, that I'm currently in the middle of trying to speedrun and do and hopefully finish 100%ing every single Ratchet and Clank game before Rift Apart comes out. When I get to the PS4 game, I can play it on PS5. That's really exciting. I'll probably be one of the first to do a playthrough of it on PS5 on YouTube and Twitch. Again, link in the description. Follow me on Twitch every Tuesday, Sunday, and Thursday. But that'll be really exciting. I'm excited to play that on PS5. It'll be really exciting with the DualSense and the visuals. I don't know if it's going to get a graphical boost or a 60 FPS. I hope. I'm not sure. I'll put it on screen or in the description or in the comments or something if I find out more later. But as of right now, I do not know. So yeah, that just about does it. Sorry this video is long as heck. If you actually stuck around, wow, you do like Ratchet and Clank. You should probably subscribe and follow me on Twitch. If you're trying to secure a PS5, I would suggest following Wario64 on Twitter. That's a great source right there for you. Yeah, the pre-orders were a mess. It's terrible, but hopefully you can secure one. Hopefully you can play Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. If you can't, I'm playing it day one. I'm playing it day one. Insomniac, hey, maybe I can play it like day -7. What do you think about that, Insomniac? I'm just saying, Insomniac. I'll whatever you want. I'll simp for you. I'll simp for Ratchet and Clank. Make whatever you want. You can give me a script. I just want to play the game. No, I'm sure I'll only have good things to say about it. I'm very much looking forward to it. I'm very much looking forward to everything and just the future in general. I just want to say really quick that by the time this video goes up, I don't know when it's going to go up, but it's almost October right now. It's not October yet right now, but sometime, and I'm not sure what the date is exactly, but it's almost coming up to a year since I first uploaded my first Ratchet and Clank video here on YouTube. I had no idea. I thought it was going to get maybe a couple dozen views. It's one of my top 10 videos ever now with a few thousand views, a dozen or so, maybe a couple dozen, I'm not even sure. And it's been insane, the growth that has happened in this past year just from because of that video and all the preceding Ratchet and Clank content afterwards. And on my Discord link in the description, join us, our community, if you want to. I'd love to have you there. We voice chat and talk and play games, maybe sometimes. Among Us? You wanna play Among Us? Trying to. Yeah, it's just the community that has come out of this with kind of me in the middle. And on Twitch, all my regulars on Twitch, shout out to all you, you know who you are, you're my mods on Discord and Twitch. I love you all so much. I don't know, I just wanted to add this in a little bit at the end of the video here. It's really amazing what's happened in a year. I could probably do a whole video just gushing, but just want to add it a little bit right now. It's so humbling. This has been my dream for so long, and it's happening. It's been a year. It's been happening for a year now, and I have to admit though, the past few months for me have been bad. They've been extremely terrible. And you guys and your support has been everything I've needed to get me through this, and I appreciate the hell out of you you don't even know. You don't even know. And it's all because of that one video. It's been almost a year now, so early mid-October I think I uploaded them, maybe the 16th I'm gonna guess, I have no idea. It's really changed my life, and I hope to keep, I've been kind of slacking a little bit because of what's going on recently with me, but I hope we can keep pushing it forward. I hope to see you guys there. Subscribe, ring the bell. I have so much I want to do, so much planned. Subscribe, boost my ego, give me the strength to help to make me boost my channel and content and make more content and stuff. Truly thank you so much for your time this past year and for this extremely long video. There was a lot to cover, okay? Thank you so much for your time, everyone. I love you all so much. Genuinely. I'll see you soon. Peace!